Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing a live unboxing of a Phoenix Cricket limited edition. This just arrived on the weekend and it's the first time I'm going to see it for my own eyes. It's actually taken 6 weeks since being posted on about the 1st of January to get here express. So we're going to see what's happened straight after this. Okay, I've opened up the box and this is what I found. It's a Phoenix Cricket Limited and it's got 22 grains across the front. It's been pre-knocked for the owner who's in New South Wales, and it's going to go onto the owner tomorrow. The actual bat comes with a scuff sheet with a rubber band attaching it to the handle, the standard Phoenix cover that you've seen before, and this is the bat here. So you can see here we've got heartwood pretty much half-half. I counted what I think is 22 grains, very narrow through here, so I'm wondering whether we've got some false growth going on here. The grains are fairly fine through the toe and it has been oiled and put on the machine, and that's why it's got that darker tinge. It's got some sort of scuffing left over from the knocking machine, and probably also being in the bag for best part of 6 weeks. It left India, I think, at the 1st of January. It was sent to me and it was supposed to arrive something like the 12th of January, and it arrived literally on the 12th of February. So it's been sitting somewhere for a month doing nothing. As a result, there are some issues. Now, the first thing is that box, due to the humidity in India at the moment, it's their monsoon sort of weather, that box has just collapsed and it's not really offered a lot of structural protection to the bat. So the cover has had to do all the work, and unfortunately it's failed, and we've got here dents across the back, 1, 2, 3, and a dent up here at the corner. That's not going to hurt the bat. It just visually, it's not very appealing. Yeah, if there's any feedback for Ravi at Phoenix, is you've got to improve the way you pack your bats. They need to be, I believe, when you send them overseas, any bat maker, use bubble wrap and try and use something a bit stiffer. I have seen Laver and Wood use really thick, rigid cardboard to protect the spine on top of the bubble wrap. So that the spine doesn't arrive with more hits than the Beatles. So yeah, that there is a lot of grains. Now, generally in the industry, as far as these sort of bats, the heartwood and all those grains, they used to call these sort of bats the sprinters, you know, all that power and energy right at the beginning and no sort of stamina to last long term. So these bats generally are bats that are going to go really well, really fast, but potentially, because you've got so many grains, that could mean that it's grown really fast or it's really old willow, and as a result, with the heartwood, there's a lot less moisture in the bat. The bat is stiffer and more prone to cracks. Now, the bat has been oiled through the knocking area. You can see that darkness there. I know when I tap it up what I think it is, but yeah, it's definitely got that reddish tinge and I'm a bit unsure, and I'm not a willow expert, I don't pretend to be, and I'd rather be honest about it, put it out there at the front. I'm not sure whether this is English or themselves are all embossed. You've got Facebook Phoenix Cricket, you've got what appear to be a branding, not so much laser, Phoenix, and that's pretty much indicating where he's saying the middle position is, which is in a mid to mid low. This is all embossed down here in black. Remember, normally they do a white and brown and gold, so this is a lot different, showing off that willow. In general, look, there's no real knots in it, just a little bit of discoloration and a lot of fine grains towards that center of the bat, which this would be what you'd call the heartwood area there. Generally, the heartwood of the bat is the center core, where it's actually stopped growing. The transport cells on a bat on a tree are actually on the outside towards the bark, and that's where you'll find more moisture. The shape itself, look, I don't have to describe it because it's got VK, the person's name, and AU written on the bottom. So I think this is a VK. Duckbill, mid to low bulk, extending higher up, big edges, and wood taken out towards the handle here. So there's not a lot of structure down in this area here. It looks very narrow down at the top of the handle. The handle itself is on the slimmer side and it's round. So it's very much what the pros sort of, a lot of the pros like to use, particularly the more wristy players, to sort of be able to play those different types of shots, you know, that helicopter and all that sort of stuff. We've got here 3 rubber inserts and the binding seems to be fairly good, nice and tight. Nothing wrong with the look of that handle at all. There's a number 5 up here. I guess means that it's number 5 of a limited run. Putting it through the gauge, I can see immediately 3 to 4 mil camber. There is some bow going on. If I put it that way, you can see the bow. And when I put the gauge all the way through, it's sacrificing probably about 3 mil on the spine and looks to be about 40 at the edge, but it does look to be narrower than I'm expecting. You can see there, normally the gauge is 110 across, and I reckon I'm looking at about 5 mil gap there. Let's measure here. 40 mils. 12.2. Really narrow up here. 30.8. And 23.6 at the edge of the toe. 28 center. Spine is 63.7. And the width of the bat, holy dooly, width of the bat is 104.8. So that's verging on academy width, which is pretty narrow. Yeah, that's not really good. It's actually narrower towards the toe than it is up here. What does it actually feel like? Yeah, it feels really light in the hands, picks up really nicely, and yeah, it feels like 2/8 dead. We'll weigh the bat. So the bat weighs 2.97. It definitely doesn't pick up anything like that. And we'll now test it out with the mallet. Remembering this bat has actually been knocked in. Starting at the toe. It's nice and hard down there, so looks like it's gonna, yeah, it's good as far as the toe goes. Coming in here to where it should start pinging, and it's definitely going. Have a look at it in that middle there. It's going really well and petering out towards the top here. But yeah, really solid performing piece of timber. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would hesitant to say, having tried the Secret Willow, that is Serbian. It could just be an off-colour form of English willow. As I'm editing this, and I'll tell you that I reached out to Ravi and asked him directly, what am I looking at here? Because that reddish tinge there was making me think that I was looking at something other than English willow. And he said, look, I get my willow from JS Wrights. So that's the information I'm providing. When I recorded it, I wasn't 100% sure. It definitely taps up like English willow. It doesn't tap up like anything else. $550, delivered and knocked with that amount of grains and that amount of performance. Seems to be a pretty good deal. I wish they would improve. Firstly, if you're going to use boxes that are going to wilt under the humidity, then you need to bubble wrap and protect those spines. Otherwise, this sort of damage is going to happen, because the box was actually collapsing. The cover's not going to do anything for it, which is unfortunate. So that's going to go straight to the owner tomorrow, because I haven't got time to do that repair. So there you go, that's the Phoenix Limited Edition. Thank you very much to Ravi from Phoenix Cricket. I pretty much think we've done the whole range. So thank you very much to Phoenix Cricket for supporting the channel. 3 bat reviews so far, and that's their top of the range. And there you go, Phoenix Cricket Limited.